Hey, little turned up thotty with the body. I got money, it's no problem. Let's be honest, girl, I want it. You can pull up on me.
What's good? I know this isn't my regular setup, but yeah, my name's Caleb, and I got one of my day one best friends here, Cody, and we're gonna talk about some shit, man. How you doing, man?
Doing all right, man. Just, chilling in my storage shed, overheating.
He's not kidding.
We're in the shed right now.
Yeah, we are in the shed, but it's tight because it's soundproof. It's dope.
I tried doing it outside, but it was like a fucking drive-by shooting going on and everything because I live out in Channel View,
Yeah, east side. Yeah. So I known you pretty much my whole life, man. Like,
we're pushing about over 20 years now.
Yeah, close to like 20 years. We're 28 now, so I mean, yeah.
A lot of shit has spurred from you shooting me in the face with an airsoft gun.
That did happen. That did happen. We used to have airsoft wars, and he would ride down the street with his helmet on his bike, and I'd shoot him. Yeah. Me and this motherfucker been through a lot together over the years. We got matching tattoos. His mom was like a second mom to me. My mom like a second mom to him. All that stuff,
What better way to do this show? Really out of the ordinary with me. Usually you're in a better setup.
Yeah. Always got
to be me. So last minute I had to run to Walmart for this evening to work. Wait a long fucking line. Almost getting a fight with someone in the parking lot.
We always do ghetto stuff, man. It always happens. Yeah. So we've almost died a few times. We actually almost died on the way back from Walmart to film this 2 times because people don't know how to drive.
Almost got T-boned by a golf cart.
Yeah.
On the road, on public roads.
Yeah. But yeah, we've almost died a few times, quite a few times. What are some of the ones you remember the most?
Oh my god, bro. Shit. We're gonna start early or late? Like when you almost crushed me having a seizure coming back from a football game.
That was still pretty early.
That was pretty. I don't know if you almost killed me from me having a fucking heart attack almost, or you from almost crushing the seat over my legs. I'm not sure. It was pretty bad, but you almost died too. But it wasn't my fault for once.
Look, if I don't remember it, don't count. That was a good one. Yeah, we went to our homecoming game in high school in like 2010. Yeah, it was sophomore year, and I don't remember nothing because I had a seizure, and he was in the back seat with another one of our good friends, Alejandro, and all I remember is saying that I saw 2 of our friends walking down the street and then waking up in the living room, and they were freaking the fuck out.
It induced food poisoning from a spicy chicken I ate that right before. This girl gave me a half-eaten spicy chicken, and I think it was poisoned because I was fine, and then it happened, and I literally threw up for 12 hours after that. And my mom blamed it on a trauma response, saying that I was traumatized by your fucking seizure. And you tried to run with it. You're like, no, you were traumatized.
I'll miss your mom.
Oh yeah.
What are some other times that we almost died?
Shit, man, you tell me.
Powerline.
Oh goddamn.
Explain the Powerline.
Well, we were younger, we were teenagers, and we had this friend, and he was older, so you would think he would be the better influence on us, but he had an idea of, let's go planking, guys, which, is stupid now, and was stupid then, too, but
we were young and dumb.
We went around the neighborhood, and we planked on random things. We planked on our old elementary sign and stuff like that, and, it was like, oh, no, this isn't big enough. We have to go do federal time, crime, stupid shit just to plank. So we went to one of those big Powerline fields that have the giant Powerline towers and said, let's try and plank on the top of that. There's really no way you could plank on that anyways, but, why not? So I started to climb it. Oh, and it was raining too. Powerline field, metal, rain, real slippery, and, really great decision. So we're climbing that, And I don't know, this fool became Spider-Man or something, and he just fucking scaled it real quick. He went past me, went all the way up to the top. Now, I'm not sure if he even planked, but all I remember is me saying, all right, you know what, I'm going to climb back down because this is stupid. But then he decided he wanted to climb down faster, so he just, I don't know, slipped and committed suicide and jumped off and hit every piece of metal on the way down. Did like a starfish cartwheel, slammed his side, and then he landed on the dirt. And he got up and he was perfectly fine. But what did you do to our great influences, our iPod Touch at the time?
He told me to hold his iPod Touch, and it was in my back pocket. And when I fell, I hit the big concrete thing that holds it in place. And I snapped the iPod Touch, and it was making an L like this.
Perfect L.
Yeah, it was like that. And then it made the L like that. And I didn't notice it until we got down the street. I was like walking. And I go, wait, you told me to hold your iPod. And he's like, dog, I got that like 2 days ago. And I'm like, okay. I pull it out and that bitch broken as fuck. He's like, bro. And I say, you told me to hold it. You told me to hold it. And he goes, fuck, I can't even be mad because I told you to hold it. And I was like, exactly. And yeah, somehow I walked away completely fine. All I had was like a road rash on my back that went from like the bottom of my shoulder blade to like the middle of my ribs, but somehow that was it. Like, yeah,
I mean, should have been a little bit more injured than that. I think I got more injured in skating than you got injured falling. Probably a good at least 50 feet, and not a straight fall either. Yeah. Just a straight every rung on the way down.
Yeah, it was funny because like I walked up, I asked him a couple weeks later because I hadn't talked about it with any of them. I just, we brushed it under the rug. And I walked up to him and I said, so what'd you think when I fell? He goes, dude, I thought you were dead. I was like, oh.
Right, I was ready to freaking just claim all his shit. I was like, yeah, bro, I've been trying to get that skateboard. Speaking of skating, you remember that one spot down the road, that gas station, that abandoned gas station we would skate at?
Yeah, I know the story you're going to tell. We made a makeshift ladder to climb on top of it. Abandoned gas station. We would go skate every day.
There's never enough. We got to do parkour on shit.
Yeah. We made a makeshift ladder to climb up to the top, and we made it up to the top. And we were like, hey, we should go from this side to the other side where there's a big awning and see if we can make it over there. But when we got up there, it was like an 8-foot gap, and none of us had the balls to jump it. So he climbed back down and moved the ladder and didn't tell me. And I'm like, hey, put the ladder back. And this motherfucker's like, no, just jump. It's fine. You'll be okay. And I'm like, dude, it's like 15 feet. No. I'm like, no, you'll be fine. I was like, well, if I do it, y'all better record it.
Mind you, this guy was probably about 150, 200 pounds heavier than he is right now.
No, I was slim then. I was skating.
Nah, you're slimmer now than you ever were. Like,
I know, but I was slim then. I was in skate shape. I wasn't. Yeah. But like,
created some velocity on the way down.
I was like, well, if I jump off, y'all better fucking record it because I want to see it because I'm going to get hurt. And they're like, nah, you'll be fine. I'm like, I'm going to get hurt. So I got hurt. I jumped off the top, and the second I hit the ground, my knees buckled and my feet went in front of me and my face hit my crotch. There's a video of it somewhere. If I could find it, I would show it right now, but I can't fucking find it.
It was like he was trying to spin up like Sonic and Knuckles. Like he was about to roll into a ball and spin, but that's like his shape when he landed. He was just a ball, and then he recoiled back and just died. It was hilarious.
Yeah, we're probably not the best at influences on each other.
There's so many times. Like,
what about on 610 that night in the Blazer?
Oh man, yeah. So I buy a lot of shitty vehicles, and
he's got like 4 cars right now.
This is one of the shittiest ones I've bought, but it was, it was a collector. It was a '79 K5 Blazer. It was.
I don't know what that means, but yeah,
it was like, it was just shitty. It ran. The only thing that was good on it was the motor, but it ran enough to get on the freeway and everything. But I had these bald ass tires, and we were coming back from visiting my mom. She was in the hospital at the time in Pasadena. And I don't remember why I decided to take the freeway with this thing, because there was so many ways that I could have went and not done this. But, we're taking the freeway, one of the worst freeways in Houston, 225. terrible potholes. It might as well be the fucking moon, but you have to go fast on it. And so we're going, and I'm hitting these holes with these shitty tires. These tires are horrible. Like they're freaking older than the truck. Like they're so bad, so dry rotted. And I've been feeling this shimmy in the truck the whole day. I've been driving this truck around. I've been feeling this shimmy, and I'm just ignoring it because, you know, we're young. I don't really know shit about cars yet at the time. And so we're going as me, him, and two of our friends. And we're going, and it was, I don't know if any of y'all know about K5 Blazers, but they can be converted into convertibles. So the top comes off. So I had the top off earlier in the day. And I think I had my dad or somebody put it back on, but I only put maybe one or two of the bolts that hold it to the truck on.
And not all the way.
Yeah, and it was like some weird shit, like one in the front, one in the back, on the other side, and it kind of, you know, it was not structurally sound. So we're going, and it's shimmying, and we get around the curve, headed towards this real tall bridge out in Houston, the Ship Channel Bridge over on 610.
And we worked underneath it at the time.
Yeah,
we worked for Volkswagen under there.
Yeah. So it was a real tall bridge, and we're going up the incline, you know, steep incline, a lot of pressure on the tires. Right whenever we get to the top, I'm probably doing a lot faster than I should have. I don't know, speedometer was broken. I could have been doing 60. I could have been doing, I don't know, 5 was faster than you should go on that thing. But we got to the top, and ironically, I'm a truck driver now. So, but back then I didn't know how to drive shit either. And that damn tire blew out. And when the tire blew out, the top shifted too. So the truck went hard right at the very top of this bridge. Oh, and the truck is lifted too. So it's over the guardrail already. The truck is lifted hard right across all lanes of traffic. The top is doing a hard left the other way.
Me and our friend Alejandro are in the back holding onto a bar that's at the top like this.
Holding on to the top.
Yeah, we were holding on to the top so it didn't go fucking flying.
And so, you know, we're flying one direction, and I'm smashing on the brakes. They suck too, of course. So I'm smashing onto the brakes, and it finally stops, and it kind of bounces off the guardrail a little bit, bounces up on it, and then comes off. And the top's hanging off to the right like that. And we're damn near hanging off this bridge, and then we're stuck on top of a freeway bridge. No one's slowing down for us, and we're stuck. We don't have a jack, you know, big enough to reach the truck to lift it, to change the tire or anything. We're just stuck at the top of the bridge in the middle of the night with the convertible top hanging off, flat tire. And I think that was one of the last times I drove that. I ended up selling it back to the person I bought it for, and I think I sold it for like $300. I was just like, nope, I'm good.
Yeah, I changed the flywheel on that bitch twice, and it just still wouldn't work.
I used to start it by hitting the starter and jamming a measuring tape in between that and the oil pan. That was a terrible vehicle. I bet I could still sell it for a lot now.
Yeah. We've almost died so many times. We're just kind of used to it by
Oh,
now.
what about that time, speaking of how we worked under the bridge, that me and you were going to work in my little shitty green car? And
He had a Nissan 200SX. We were late one morning. And this month, we had to be there by 6. It's like 5:50, and we had to be there. So he's driving fast as fuck. So there's an entrance to go to where we worked. The same bridge, same exact bridge. I don't know how many fucking times we've almost died there. We're driving that morning, and we're asleep as shit. Like, we could not fucking wake up. And we're driving, and he goes to the exit to get over there and hits a puddle. The bitch hydroplanes and turns sideways completely. And then he cuts it back real quick. And then both of us are like, I'm awake.
I had zero control of that vehicle.
Yeah, I don't. That was easily, we should have flipped and been dead that morning.
We didn't almost die. Do you remember that time that we raced back to my house and you were in your old Oldsmobile and I was in the 200SX and I drove on the sidewalk?
Yeah, we raced on the street by my house and his old house in the neighborhood.
Suburban residential neighborhood.
Yeah, I was in my 91 Oldsmobile Cutlass Sierra, and he was in the same 200SX. And we raced in the neighborhood, like right off of a stop sign. Like, that was, you couldn't do that now because there's too many cars parked on the side of the road, but it was like 1 PM.
That was Fast and the Furious. I drove on the sidewalk to try and cut the corner to get in front of him, and it didn't work.
It didn't work. Somehow I won. But yeah. But there's been times where we should have died and we just kind of weren't fazed by it because it's happened so many times over the years. Like one time he had a FRS and we were driving.
Well, you gotta bring up the part that happened first in that fucking 200SX. Again, that's why we were already conditioned. Talking about the hood.
Yeah.
Yeah. Remember that's why.
Oh.
Yeah, it happened to the 200SX twice. It happened to the 200SX.
I got epilepsy.
Yeah.
We almost died too many times.
But the 200SX hood was like made out of fucking kryptonite and weighed 3 million pounds, so it didn't do the damage the fucking other one did. All it did was break the windshield.
Anyways,
FRS.
We're driving the FRS one day, and we were gonna go get some wings, and we're driving on the feeder over here, off of I-10, and it happened in like the blink of an eye. We're driving, and the wind popped the hood up, and it just went boom, and both of us didn't flinch, nothing. It went boom, and both of us just went damn. We looked down like this through the little bottom of it where you can still see it, pulled over on the side of the road, and slammed the bitch down and went to Certifit and got another hood.
It's always fun. Got plenty of vehicle stories.
Yeah.
All of my vehicles.
Yeah, do you remember your Sentra? What happened to that car?
A pole. People was driving next to me and it jumped out in front of me. And the car was like, man, fuck that pole. And it hit the pole. And part of me is glad that I did it just because I broke what's his name's PlayStation that he was trying to pawn. So it was worth it. But
that was on the same street or the same road, the same feeder road that the hood flew up on the FRS like 3 years later.
Moral of the story, don't buy a Nissan. They're toxic like the females that drive them.
That's true. Toxic females do be driving Nissans.
So Nissan Altima. Never really a
Nissan Rogue.
A Nissan in general.
Yeah, anything with Nissan. And Volkswagen.
Right.
But yeah. There's been plenty of times we've been in some shitty situations.
How many times have we almost gotten robbed?
How many times have we
got robbed?
That's exactly what I was gonna bring up. We got jumped one time in high school, junior year. Man. So we went to the skate park one morning. There was a skate park right down the street from where we lived, and it was in a fucked up part of town. But for some reason, there was a skate park there. So
fucking trap.
Yeah,
they put the skate park there. They put it there to rob us.
Yeah, I guess, man. But I had been to that skate park by myself plenty of times. I'd been there with him plenty of times, all of our other friends plenty of times. No issues. This one day, we went there, and we're skating, no problem. And out of nowhere, like 8 dudes come walking up. And I'm like, this about to be bad. I'm going to just keep skating and ignore them. I'm going to text my dad, tell him to come get us, because we didn't have cars at the time. We were kids. So we're chilling, and out of nowhere, they start like getting closer to us, and I'm like, "Hey, we should start walking towards the road." And my dad calls me. I'm like, "Hey, come get us, man." He's like, "Well, I gotta go get some gas." I was like, "No, you're good. Just come get us. We'll get gas with you." He's like, "No, I'm gonna go get gas." I'm like, "No, dude, come get us." I'm trying to be discreet, and he's like, "Okay, I'll be right there." Motherfucker stops to get gas, of course, and so. We're walking towards.
Went and got breakfast or something. It took him like 30 minutes.
We're walking towards the road, and I just happened to turn around because I could feel it. The dudes are following us, and I look. One of them runs up to our boy Alejandro, sticks him in the back of the neck. Weirdest spot, but he dropped, rolled, and he's like, "What the fuck?" And then I'm like, "All right, it's on." And
remember how they took our skateboards, but then politely gave one of them back, but then proceeded to jump us? Like, there you go, bro.
Yeah.
And then proceeded,
he gave me my board back, but one of them stuck me in the fucking face, and my tooth went through my lip. I'm bleeding all over the place. I had a black eye for like a week and a half. Cody got punched and fell into a ditch and split his head open. And there was.
And sometime in between there, they like pickpocketed me. I'm not even sure how they got my wallet, but
you gave it to him.
Did I?
Yeah. I remember you were like, dog, just leave us alone.
Literally, it was like, I remember walking away from them. I remember getting hit, and then I remember jumping in the back of Jaquette's truck.
Yeah, we start walking down the road, and we see our boy Jaquette drive by, and I just scream, Jaquette! And he backs up real quick, and we just hopped in the back of his truck, and I'm like, just drive.
The odds is they were just driving down the road, too. It was like,
and it turned out to be a good thing, because when we hopped in the back of his truck, they were still following us. So Jaquette just takes off driving, and we finally see my dad. We flag him down. We hop in the car, and he's like, what's going on? And I was like, bro, we got jumped. And he's like, why didn't you say anything? I was like, because I knew it was going to happen, and I didn't want to fucking say some shit while they were, like, right there and, you know, make them jump us sooner. I was trying to get you to come pick us up so we wouldn't have to deal with it. He's like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm like, really? That's it? I'm bleeding? Like, all fucked up. Cool. And your Social Security was in your wallet.
That's where that motherfucker went. I've been looking over there for years.
No, we went back and found it. No, we went back and found it that day. We found all your shit except your Chili's cards. I was trying
to blame the fact that I lost it for the 5th time on something.
Well, too bad.
Just let me believe it.
Too bad. You got it back that day.
What
Yeah.
is that thing?
But yeah, there's been some shit.
Speaking of shit like that, the next street over, literally from where I am right now, do you remember when we decided, hey, you know that abandoned apartment complex? We should go take a car stop from there to skate on and try to put it in the back of that goddamn 200SX. And they started shooting at us.
Yeah.
And the bullets are bouncing off the freeway.
Yeah. We still got the car stop, though.
Fucking Nissans, bro. You know how many times I've been by there in another brand vehicle and never got shot at for no reason?
Yeah.
Always have something to blame on some.
Yeah, we still got the car stop. I learned how to do, like, back tails on that thing. It was tight.
It finally turned into a rival.
But dude, your house that you used to live in, we didn't have any kind of fucking, like, any guidance over there. Cody's mom was, like, in and out of the hospital all the time.
It was great.
And
not that much.
we kind of just raised ourselves over there, which was probably not a good thing. But I would come over and just...
That turned out great.
I would just come over and we would skate in the living room. Like, I would be ollieing on the couch and, like, popping back off and stuff. Like, I put a hole in the living room wall one time, and I didn't know how to fix it because we didn't have no fucking, you know, mud or anything, no drywall mud, no tape to float it. And so I just took a piece of, like, printer paper and stapled it over the wall, and then it actually looked good.
You got shaving cream. And
that was a different thing. No, that was a different thing. Hold on, that was a different thing. I stapled the paper over there, and then a few years later, Cody painted the living room, and it didn't. You couldn't even tell the paper was there.
I also didn't fix the hole.
Yeah.
If I could have painted over the hole, I would have done that. I wouldn't have fixed it if you could see the hole.
Yeah, there was somebody went through the living room wall one time.
That was Abraham.
Somebody also went through the wall right by the door one time.
That was Stephen and Abraham.
Yeah.
And everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, the shaving cream thing he's talking about, our friend Bud, who was the older one that should have probably been there for guidance but wasn't. There was one day Cody just kind of left us at his house, and I was like, well, this is dumb. Let's go right on the walls in his closet. So we went in there, took Sharpies, and started writing shit all over the walls, and Bud decided to trace a hanger on the wall with the Sharpie for some reason. So there was just a tracing of a hanger on the wall. So Cody's neighbor comes over and snitches to his mom and tells her what she saw. She's like, I need to go paint over it. We didn't have any paint, so I just sprayed shaving cream over it and smeared it on there. And when it dried, it kind of looked like paint, and you couldn't really see anything back there.
It could very well still be there to this day.
Some lady just bought that house the other day. I kind of want to go over and see if she'll let us look at it.
I finally moved out of that house in 2018.
Yeah.
And everything was still there. And then the people that moved there after I knew, and they remodeled the place, but they didn't change that particular room. So everything was still there. And I doubt they remodeled it now. So probably still like that.
Yeah. Do you remember the time we used to find things that people were throwing away, like couches and stuff, and we would sit them on our skateboards and drive them back to Cody's house.
Yeah.
And one time we found a couch. It was a nice, like, leather couch that somebody was throwing away because it had a rip in the back of it. And we're like, we can just put it up against the wall and no one will ever see it. So we got it, and there happened to be a party going on on the street. So we're like, man, we should just go all the way around the block so nobody could see us and be like, oh, why are these fucking white boys in the neighborhood over here trying to fucking take this couch? They're fucking stupid. Well, it took us too long to get it balanced, so we just decided to fucking go straight anyways. So we get it to his house, and we're like, we should put it in this one room that's, you know, the hallway goes down this way, and the first door right here was this room. And we're like, we could get it in there. And it took us like 3 hours.
Fucking couch.
It took us like 3 hours to get that bitch in there. It took
we were trying to make a man cave out of the smallest room in the house.
Yeah. And it took us like 3 hours of me running and jumping full force into it and taking the door off of the hinges.
It was a probably 8-foot couch. They needed to make a full 90-degree angle immediately with it from one doorway to the next doorway, just like that. And the couch, I mean, it didn't fit sideways. So we just did magic. We made magic happen. And he played football, so he just speared that shit.
Yeah,
he went in the restroom and football tackled it. It broke it in half. But once it was laying on the ground, you know, once it was on the floor, it was solid. It's just, it was like a slinky at that point more than any other time. But we got out of the trash. So fuck it. But
yeah, we had a lot of chairs.
We got it out of that house, but we took it through the window. Which we probably should have brought it in through the window.
I said that while we were doing it, and you're like, "No, it's already
this way." Well, there was a window unit at that time. That's why. But we took that window unit out because it was broken too, so we were able to just chunk it out of the base in the backyard for a while.
Dude, the kids next door used to come over and take apart shit. Like they would take the lawnmower apart, but like every tiny little thing.
You mean the kids that are like fully grown adults now?
Yeah, we don't talk about that. I'm old.
Fully grown. I was there when that kid was born. Now
I was too.
He's an adult.
Fucking crazy to think about. Yeah. What else used to go on at that house? There was a lot of stuff at that house, man. We would skate at that house all the time. Like
burn stupid shit.
I don't know. For some reason, I always liked to burn shit when I was younger. I would like randomly just light shit on fire.
Remember that time that Abraham almost broke Alejandro's nose, like that freak accident with the pipe?
Oh yeah, that was a good one. We had a rock band drum set pipe, and Abraham, our friend, took it and put it on a broomstick, and he was just swinging it for some reason, saying he was a Jedi or some shit. I don't fucking know, but he swung it really hard, and the pipe flew off the thing and hit our friend Alejandro in the nose. Cody and I were in the man cave that we made, chilling. Abraham comes running in. It's like that scene on Step Brothers. Comes running in. I think I killed him. There's so much blood. Oh my god! And I'm like, what? I go in there. Alejandro's like this. I'm like, let me fucking see your nose, bitch. And he moves his hands, deep ass gash in his nose right here, bleeding all over the place. He's like, damn, we're gonna go home and tell my mom about this. And I was like, well, fuck. But yeah, there was
fight Adam.
I was gonna say there was like fights that went on there. We had a little fight club we had over there one time.
It was supposed to be just like a spar.
It was supposed to be like
got mad.
It was supposed to be like a spar type thing. We were only grappling, and
you was not.
Well, that's what happened. We were grappling, and in the middle of it, I accidentally fucking grabbed him, and my hand slipped up and hit him in the chin, and he got mad, and he bit me. There was all kinds of shit. Like he headbutted me, all kinds of stuff. But yeah,
that was your fucking deflated sock and moppers. It's just a fist.
Oh, yeah.
Just a fist wrapped in fucking stinky rubber.
Yeah, I fucking found some sock and moppers one time, and I couldn't put my fist all the way in there when it was blown up, so I let some air out.
You really hold on to this excuse, too.
I did. I let some air out and then blew it up around my hand, and it ended up not fucking having a lot of air in it, so I went and punched my friend Dougie in the face, but I felt my fist connect with face full, and Dougie hit the ground, and I was like, oh, shit. Like,
yeah, he just had a tendency of getting his face fucked up, whether it be himself or you or.
Yeah, he lit himself on fire that time. That's a story we'll get to one day with Dougie. But
he's probably at the door listening right now.
I wouldn't doubt it.
He's probably right there.
Go fuck away, weirdo. Yeah, we had a friend named Jonathan one time, and he would come over and just stay at Cody's house for like weeks at a time for some reason. And
there's a trend there.
Yeah,
it was like an adoption.
Dude, I would show up after school, stay there till like 2:30 in the morning, just because I didn't want to be at home, and end up going back home, sleeping, waking up for school the next day, do it all over again every day, just because I just didn't want to be at home. And
it's like an orphanage, but we all had families that just
we all had families. We all had our own shit with them. Like but Jonathan would come over, spend the night all the fucking time, and one day I was like, let's antique him for some reason. Like, antiquing is when you get a handful of flour and just slap somebody in the face with it. Jonathan was asleep on that couch that we took in there. And that was sleeping at Cody's house was the epitome of those memes where it's like when you sleep over at homie's house and you don't have a blanket, so he gives you this, and it's like a piece of toilet paper. That's what it was at Cody's house. You didn't have no blanket. You had to figure some shit out.
Oh, yeah, they were all mine. Y'all can all get fucked.
Yeah, exactly. Like one time I slept on the fucking floor in his room with the couch cushions as a bed.
You did.
Like, but yeah, there was all kinds of shit like that. But Jonathan, he's asleep on the couch, and Adam showed up one morning for some reason, and we just fucking took the flour and slapped him in the face with it. He woke up mad as shit and left. Understandably, I guess, you know. Adam says, let's go track him down. I'm like, no. Yeah, so we hop in Adam's Jeep, and we find him, and Adam just throws the entire rest of the bag of flour on him while he's walking home. And I'm like, damn.
And he smashes his fucking glasses.
Yeah, he got mad and smashed his glasses. And later on, he was like, I wasn't even mad at y'all. I was mad because my glasses were broken already. And I was like, that don't make no sense. But all right. Yeah.
Serial killer.
Yeah, that was...
Like, who doing what?
Jonathan, wherever you are, man, if you see this, I'm sorry about all that shit we did. Like the fight club in the front yard with the Christmas lights as the ring. Like,
you need to get that dude on here because
I do.
Good God. His freaking house over there, too. His aunt's house or whatever. Oh, my God.
I think we helped clean a murder one time.
No, that was the other house across the street. I'm talking about the other house. They're both bad.
Yeah. Yeah, we had a lot of friends come through there. Had some different hoes over the years, stuff like that, you know. But yeah,
fucking that house that I had over on Flaxman.
Oh, that was a house. That
was room.
Yeah, the smush room.
Big ass house, man. This shit had like a 5-bedroom, freaking 2-bath.
Yep,
had all the rooms.
Damn, I forgot about that house. The Flaxman house was where it was at. I'd come over and watch football every morning. And had the smush room.
Yeah. Big ass double.
Oh man, it had a big ass room. That was the only place we actually had room for a fucking pool table. We tried to put a pool table in the other house, and it didn't work too well. We broke the window too many times.
I remember I literally had like 12 cars, and they were all lined all the way. It was great.
The worst part about it was there'd be roaches on the front porch all the time. But
my God, they would cover the fucking porch. Literally, they would like literally brown, just roaches, and you would get near them, and they would all scatter. Yeah, just terrifying.
That was the worst part. But that was a house, man. That was terrifying. Yeah. Oh no, the worst part about that house was the bathroom. That thing was scary.
Which one?
The Flaxman house.
Oh, I didn't use that bathroom. I used the master bedroom bathroom. I never used the other one.
There was another bathroom at that house?
Yeah, no, y'all knew about it.
Fucking bitch.
That bathroom, man. I was not about to use that. They did not take care of that thing.
Oh, fuck you.
Yeah. Man. The only thing was it had a tiny little shower, and it was like a little prison shower. You could do like this. Like, super claustrophobic, but I could shit in peace.
Yeah. Yeah, me and Cody met in like elementary school. I went to a school on the other side of town. He went to the other one when he was supposed to go to my school because of where he lived, but you know, his mom hustled him.
They caught me.
Yeah, his mom hustled him
and made me go to the ghetto school with all the ghetto kids. That's how I met him.
Yeah, but Cody's mom was actually the one that got us to hanging out and stuff like that. And his mom, like I said, was like a second mom to me, and she was paralyzed from the waist down since she had been 16. So all my life that I knew her, she was always rolling around in her electric scooter, and Cody would be following her on his bike. And then there'd be like a line of 6 of us following her over the years and stuff like that. And I would go over to Cody's house, and his mom had given me a key when I was like 16. And I would use it, go inside. And one time I went inside, and Cody was sitting in a rocking chair, just rocking back and forth. His mom screaming from the other room, Cody, get the fuck in here. I'm walking in, I'm like, what the fuck? And he's just laughing, just smiling. I'm like, okay. I shut the door. And she's like, who's that? I said, oh, it's me. Hey. And she's like, hey, Caleb, how you doing? And I said, I'm good. How are you? She's like, I'm good. Hey, is Cody in there? And I look, I said, no, I haven't seen him yet. I just got here, you know. She's like, oh, okay, that's okay. And then she goes, Cody, get your bitch ass in here. Stop having your fucking friends lie for you. And he's like, damn it. So he gets up and goes in there. And that's kind of how it always was with her. Like, she was just cool. And yeah, she was a character.
Yes, the rocking chair. That's why I'm moving around so much, because like usually I always have to be rocking if I'm sitting down. I don't know why I've been like this since I was a kid, but I don't have a rocking chair right now, so I'm kind of freaking out at the moment, but I'll be okay. I'm just gonna twitch over here. Just ignore me.
Yeah, he's fucking weird. Like, he has to sit there and be rocking back and forth. But yeah, oh shit. Cody's mom she was cool. We would walk everywhere with her growing up. Like, she had a really big phobia of cars. So we would walk to like Burlington Coat Factory with her. Which was
I skated down that big ass bridge in that skateboard, but then we didn't know the trucks were snapped in half.
Yeah.
Oh,
we went to Burlington
spiral.
Yeah, Burlington was like a 1.5 mile long walk from the house, maybe 2 miles. And we would walk there and back like all the time. And one time we walked across the crosswalk that was above the freeway, and we're skating down it. And I looked, and Cody busted his ass. And I looked at his truck on the skateboard was snapped in half like this, but it was held together by the fucking pins. And so we're still skating and everything. I'm like, dog, your truck is snapped in half. And he's like, fuck it, it works. So we just kept skating, and somehow you didn't get hurt from that. But there was plenty of times one of those crosswalks had a circular path to walk up and down it on both sides, and we figured out that you could skate down it, but you got a lot of speed. And Cody skated down it one time and busted his ass and slid into a bunch of glass. Like,
I still kind of want to blame Alejandro for that, because he was in front of me on his little custom lowrider bike.
I want to blame Alejandro for a lot of shit that's happened in my life.
I swear to God, he bumped the front of the board, and I went down. I slid through the glass, and my arm was all cut up, but it was whatever, you know. Like, I was still walking. I was still able to skate. We went to McDonald's, got 56 trillion McNuggets, ate them. Don't know how we did that now, because if I have 5 of them hoes, I'm done.
We used to do that. We would walk. The McDonald's in the neighborhood wasn't even in the neighborhood. It was on the other side of the freeway, but at the end of the neighborhood in a separate subdivision.
Out of all the things that, you know, we've done that should have killed us, I think the amount of McNuggets we ate was the most. And we should have died from that. We should have heart disease.
We would walk all the way there. It was like a 2.5 mile walk, 3 mile walk, something like that. We'd walk all the way over there, buy 50 nuggets, and then pour them in a pile and all eat, and then walk back. And we would do that during the summer all the fucking time. Like,
plenty of times I almost died just from being out in that fucking heat, man.
Even
you know, we were emo, so
oh, dude,
all black, everything, you know.
I wore long sleeves in the summer.
Long sleeves, had the whole dumb shit going on, so it was always on. So you couldn't even roll them up. And these motherfuckers just skating with a hoodie on. I got the hood on, got headphones in. I'm over here just like heavy breathing. I'm wearing a t-shirt. I can't like.
That was the only thing that kept me sane.
That fool had the endurance. Me, I was. Well, I'm a diabetic. I didn't know it at the time.
Yeah.
But
I had epilepsy and didn't know it at the time.
That's probably what was killing me. Because I would eat like 66 boxes of Twinkies and then wash it down with maple syrup.
I would come over and this motherfucker just be drinking maple syrup out of the bottle. No problem.
And then I still question why I have diabetes to this day.
I would tell him all the time, bro, you're going to get diabetes. No. The amount of times we ate and drank ants at that fucking Lord Street house because the sugar ants would get in there.
Sugar ants came from.
Like, they would get in the food and the drinks all the fucking time. There was one time I got some water. I took a big gulp out of this glass, and I just looked in there and ants crawling in it. I went, well, I just drank ants. Fuck it. Drink it more.
Yeah, it got to that point where, like, I'd be eating some Pop-Tarts, and then I'd be like, why are these Pop-Tarts crawling away? And then I would just say, fuck it, and grab the Pop-Tart while it was crawling away and
like
finish that one.
There was a lot of stuff that, dude, we should have been dead a long time ago, honestly. If my family sees any of this, I'm sorry. Like, you know, but yeah.
There's a lot more.
Yeah,
there's tons more.
Yeah, there was plenty of times. Like, we went to a school that didn't really favor our skin tone, but you know, we were cool with everybody, so we didn't have a problem. But we saw all kinds of shit that we seen our assistant principal one time. She accidentally got punched because she decided she was going to break up a fight between these two dudes that were gigantic compared to her. And one of them swung and she tried to break it up, accidentally punched her dead in the face so hard she had to have facial reconstruction. And right after that dude hit her, he got his ass beat by like 6 guys. Like, we saw a lot of stuff at our school. I used to see people doing cocaine in the restrooms. Wedo, come take a bump. Nah, I'm good, man. You sure? Yeah. All right, more for me. I'd be like, damn, okay. You know, all kinds of stuff at that school. And, you know, we just kind of went through a lot. We would go to school, and I would bring both of our skateboards to school. And then we would skate all day after school in Galena Park and then walk to Jacinto City where we live, which is like a 2-mile walk. But we would do it every single day. Skate for like 3 hours. At 5:30, you know, we'd come home, walk back. And, you know, Cody had this thing where he just didn't go to school all the time. Like, I never met anybody that skipped school as much as him. Like,
Not a good grades though.
You had credit recovery senior year for the whole fucking year. That was crazy.
And summer school for a little bit too. I had to go to summer school for going into senior year for that same reason.
Wow. I didn't even know about that.
Yeah, I need to be there to freaking get good grades.
But yeah, he would skip school all the fucking time. Enough about like when we were younger. What's some stuff that happened when we were older that was probably stupid? Like last 4th of July, the intro video to this, we went and bought a bunch of fireworks, and me and him tried to light them and didn't expect them to blow up as fast as they did, and we had to run away because them hoes were going like near our face. We've had a lot of...
We were popping fireworks at a national park, and we didn't even know we were popping fireworks and shooting guns.
Yeah, we lit it on fire.
It was actually not too far from here. It was before I bought this house.
Yeah, we've had a lot of incidents with like...
We were just doing that, and we ended up... It was a really dry year. It was really dry, and we shot a bunch of bottle rockets off, and they went way out into the pasture, because it seemed like farmland. But it went way out into the pasture, and it started lighting the grass on fire, and it started spreading fast as hell. And we had to run out there and start like
stamp
stomping
it out.
and crap. And it got to a pretty big fire. And I don't know, like it turned out to be what is it? I don't know, but it's a state park. It's a state park.
I don't know. That's probably confidential. We shouldn't talk about.
Yeah, you know what?
Yeah, but speaking of fires, we had another house that we always hung out at and partied out.
Yeah,
our friend Drew's house.
That's where we almost died the most, actually. You know what? God, yeah, that fucking house.
Drew's house was also the shit because Drew's parents were there and still didn't give a shit.
Bro, there were so many hazards there.
I fought so many people at that house just to do it. Like, somebody be like, "You're a bitch," and I'd be like, "We're fighting, come on." Like, all the time. Like, that shit should not have been a thing. Like, we fought fireworks over there all the time. We had the cops called out. Drew got arrested like 5 times at that house.
When he tried to go down the levee, but he was wearing a fluorescent shirt. And the cops were like, "We can see you."
Yeah, it was 4th of July one year. We were popping fireworks, and the cops showed up. It was like 2 in the morning. Yeah, I know. It was like 2 in the morning, and the cops showed up, and I saw the cops, and I went, "Cops!" and everybody scattered like roaches. And Drew lived right in front of a levee. So naturally, we all fucking ran and hid in the levee. But Drew ran away wearing a fluorescent orange shirt. And they spotted him immediately. So they're like talking to everybody, like, "Whose house is this?" And Drew's like, "Well, I live here." And they said, "Cool, you're getting the ticket." So all he got was a ticket, luckily. But Drew also had this thing where he didn't fucking pay his tickets. So he would have warrants and get arrested all the time. And his parents also loved me as well, so I would always be over there hanging out with them. I'd be like, "Hey, where's Drew?" "Oh, he's in jail again." Like, all the time.
We spent, I think, a week and a half in jail for all the warrants he had. We were still over there just chilling.
Yeah, I go over there, hang out with his parents all the time. And, yeah, his brother almost got me locked up one time because they came looking for him, and Drew was stupid. And the cops were like, hey, so we're here looking for your brother. And Drew's like, well, he's not here. And they're like, so could we search the house? And I'm like, and Drew goes, well, I mean, why do you want to search the house? And I said, well, fuck, we just fucked up. And Drew's like, my dad's going to be mad if y'all come in the house. And I'm like, damn, you better tell them they can search the house now or tell them that they need a warrant. And the second I said warrant, the cop goes, well, I'm just going to tell y'all. If we come back with a warrant, we find out that your brother's here, all y'all are going to jail. And I was like, yeah, I know that. He's not here, but y'all need a warrant. And they're like, are you sure? And Drew's like, well, he's not here. I don't know what to tell you. And I was like, dude, just let him search the house so they don't come back. So finally he lets them search the house. Didn't find his brother, obviously, because he wasn't there. And they left. Drew's dad comes back, and Drew's like, Caleb with the cops in the house. And I said, no. Here's what happened. I explained the situation. His dad looks at Drew and goes, you fucking idiot. Why the fuck did you act so shady like that? Now they're going to come back later. And, of course, they came back later. But, you know.
You remember when your dumbass threw a freaking douchebag hand grenade into that fire?
Yeah, so we would make bonfires at Drew's house all the time.
It was douchebag flavored.
And one of the guys that was there with us was this punk ass named Joseph. And he fucking had some axe that he was just spraying in the fire every now and then. And he's like, I'm going to throw the whole thing in there by the end of the night. And I was like, okay. So he wouldn't do it. So I get ready to leave. And I'm telling everybody bye. And I snatched the thing out of his hand and just threw it in there. And as soon as I let it go, I was like, damn, that can was really heavy. It must have been really full still. He goes, I bought it today. And I went, cool, fucking run. So everybody takes off running. And I'm just looking at it. That bitch goes, boom, shakes the house, everything. Fire everywhere.
It was whole tree logs that it had landed in between. And it blew them away because I was hiding behind the couch because I didn't want to get up and run and have it blow up. And it was whistling. And I was like, oh, fuck, there's nothing I could do. So I was hiding behind the couch. And I ducked right whenever it finally blew up. And it went from bright bonfire to just dark night. Just like that. And everything was gone. I did not know that would blow up.
There was fucking fire all over the place. We're stomping it out. Drew's mom comes running outside. So do some other people. And they're like, what was that? I'm fucking smart and quick on my feet. So I think it was New Year's? Something. There was fireworks going on.
It was hot. No, it wasn't hot because it was a fire. So it had to be New Year's.
It was like New Year's or something. There was fireworks going on. So I'm quick on my feet. She goes, what was that? And I said, man, they're popping those artillery shells over on the next street. One of them came and landed in the yard and blew up. And she's like, oh, is that really what happened? I said, why would I lie to you? You know? And she's like, okay, well then maybe we should call the cops. I was like, maybe we should. And I swear to God, 5 seconds later, one of those artillery shells really landed in the yard and blew up and shook the house. And she goes, oh, okay, everybody get inside. I was like, see, I told y'all. So, hey, if y'all watch this, it was an axe can. I did it. Sorry.
So that happened, and then you weren't there for this one, but me and Joseph and everybody had a fire that was way too big to the point that you could see it over the house. And we got scared, and we had to put it out really fast and everything. And nothing came of that, but I swear to God, remember we had a little small baby fire, and the fire marshal came.
Yeah,
and you put a cover over that.
Well, the whole thing was he showed up, and I'm also very I pay attention to what you say, and I'm going to respond to you accordingly. So I'm standing there. He sees me. He goes, do you see any fires around here? And I was sitting in my car, and where I was standing, I couldn't see the fire. So I was like, no, I don't see the fire. And he's like, do you smell any smoke? And I said, no, I don't smell no smoke because I couldn't smell no smoke where I was. He goes, huh. Okay, well, I got reports of a fire. I said, all right. I don't know what to tell you, my man. And so he goes and finds a fire. He tells them that they had to have a cover over it and everything. And that guy happened to know my dad, and he told my dad about it. And he's like, your son lied to me. And my dad's like, I don't think my son lied to you. I think he responded to the way you said something. So maybe you should pay attention to the way you say things from now on. So, yeah, Lon, if you see this, you're a bitch. And
is there a statute of limitations saving the shit we're saying? Like that time that you were driving my truck with Cossum and me in the bed.
Let's not talk about that.
Okay.
That was that was too much.
Okay. Anyways, what?
Yeah, we should have got arrested that night. Damn, we should have been arrested a lot of times.
That's your truck now, actually. So there you go. Enjoy. And the mechanic just straight up stole it from you today. Fuck you. But it used to be.
Do you remember the time that we went to Twin Peaks to see Drew's sister's friend in her bikini contest, and Dougie's stupid ass got his truck towed? After I told him not to park his truck at the Taco Cabana next door?
I don't remember that at all, to be honest. Like, I have no recollection of that. I thought you were about to talk about the next seizure thing. That was Twin Peaks also for your birthday. But I don't remember anything he does, man. He's literally outside being stupid right now.
That's a good story, too, the other seizure. I don't know what happened because I had the seizure. All I remember is we went to Twin Peaks for my 21st birthday. Most of y'all will know I'm straight edge. I don't smoke. I don't drink. I don't do nothing like that. Never have, never will. So we went to Twin Peaks for my 21st birthday. We're leaving. This band called Oceano had just released a new song called Slow Murder. And I was jamming the fuck out of it.
We were going to get
I was going to get a tattoo for my birthday. We were going down there. I was going to go work on my arm some. And so we had this dude that we were hanging out with that we worked with named Mike. Mike had a WRX.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was like a 2013
orange
WRX. Yeah. And so he has his WRX, and he tells me, he's like, hey, I want you to drive it. And I'm like, I don't want to drive it, man. Like, I don't feel like driving it tonight. I don't know what possessed me to say that, but I was like, just let Cody drive it. Cody's sober. He'll do it. He's like, okay. So Cody drives it. I'm driving my Oldsmobile. 610 bridge again. I'm driving down the 610 bridge. All I remember is listening to that song, and I hear him go, I'm capable of murder. It's the last thing I remember. I woke up in my living room. Woke up in my living room, covered in throw up, all kinds of shit, tongue all fucked up from biting it, like all kinds of shit.
I can't tell you what happened. I was driving the car. Yeah. I was hauling ass. I was at the tattoo shop when they called me.
Drew and Dougie were in the car. They broke my seat, and
they moved you over. From what they said, Drew, he got you released, moved you over, and he took control of the vehicle. But at that time, y'all had already went off the road and hit a fucking tree. That's what ripped your antenna off. And then all he did was get it to a stop without having to throw it in park and ruin the whole car.
I lost the fucking windshield wiper on that thing.
The windshield wiper, the antenna got ripped up. That car was a 10. You got hit by like 2 18-wheelers in that car.
I did get hit by an 18-wheeler one time. Hit and run. Could have been a millionaire.
Y'all ever want to do a survival vehicle? Oldsmobile Cutlass Sierra. Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I broke the seat on that car 3 times.
I had to drive it after that, and I couldn't reach the pedals.
Yeah. It was bad. Broke the seat on that car, having a seizure, and some other stuff. It was a bench seat.
I remember having to drive it at Kurt's party at one time somewhere. I took it to the store or something. I straight up had to hold the fucking steering wheel like this because I could not drive that car. That shit was dumb.
Sorry.
I didn't have a car at the time. I remember. It was right before we started at TBS. That's what it was. It was the day before I started working at TBS. Or I did. I got you the job later on.
Why didn't you have a car?
Because the Sentra, that stupid pole that jumped out.
There's no way that's how it happened because we didn't know Kirk. We met him at TBS.
Oh, no, you're right.
He started the same day as me.
No, it was the same. It was my job that I work at now. God damn. Yeah, that's what it was. I'm stupid.
That makes sense. Yeah, because you got fired from TBS.
Yeah, I worked there for a long time.
You know there was rumors you got fired for popping hot for like meth?
Well, Elias was there, so yeah.
No, he got fired before that.
Did he?
Yeah. He was the first one.
That job was like trauma for me. I hated that fucking job, man.
I worked there for 2 years. That shit was fucked, bro.
I don't know how you stayed there. I thought you worked there for like 3 years. Something. The fact that there's people that we know that still work there to this day is crazy. That job sucks ass. The job was terrible.
Yeah.
But you get to wreck really expensive cars and have no real repercussions. You know, $150,000, $200,000 car. Just took the whole side of it off. This time we should have died there. Remember we used to zip each other up in the covers? And like there's no real way to get out. Like you have to just
roll the window down and try and figure it out.
Yeah, not just suffocate and die. And then they had those fucking spiders from Mexico. They were like the size of this fucking shark. They would just be popping up out of the wheel covers. Trying to shoot
nobody. If anybody doesn't know this, most of the Volkswagen cars are made in Mexico now, and they come in on rail cars from Mexico on trains and get dropped off wherever they're going, and then get shipped out all over the country. So there's all kinds of spiders in them all the time. I got bit by spiders at that place. I don't know how many times.
I ran out of cars like a baby because I'm scared of spiders. I don't know how many times.
Yeah,
it's too many legs for me, bro.
Ugh. There was a lot of stuff there. Do you remember all the stuff that would happen with our friend Junior? Man, we had a friend named Junior. That guy was crazy.
He was ex-military.
Yeah, ex-military. The epitome of I fucking killed people and I'll tell you about it.
Go see that guy.
Yeah, we do.
Wait a minute.
I miss him. He tried to hit me up one day on Snapchat, and I asked him what was up, and he left me on red.
I got his crazy stepbrother hired at my job, and it was a nightmare. That was the last time I talked to him.
Yeah, I miss that guy. He was a real one. Yeah, there's all kind. Do you remember the night that y'all dragged me to Galveston with y'all?
Ooh, that was a creepy night. That was fun.
That was not fun.
That was fun for me. I was drunk though.
Dude. So 200SX again, back in those days. We're hanging out at the house on Lord, and it was like a Friday night or something. And they're like, I want to go do something. Caleb, go get dressed up. And I'm like, the fuck? Dressed up? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, okay. So I went and put on this nice little shirt that I had and some jeans. And these motherfuckers show up not dressed up. And I'm like, what the fuck? So we start driving. And they're like, let's go to Galveston. And I'm like, I don't want to go to Galveston. It's like 11 at night. Fuck y'all. And they're like, no, let's go. So we start driving towards Galveston. I'm not paying attention because I'm sitting in the back seat. And this motherfucker over here starts racing somebody on the freeway. And he's like, hey, let's go, let's go. So we end up meeting these people. And
we just raced all the way from South Houston all the way to Galveston.
Yeah.
I don't know how they blow that shit up.
Yeah, it turned out they had a Civic that you had to pop the clutch to start, all kinds of shit. Like, you had to push start it.
Come to think of it, it was stolen. Had to be stolen.
There's no way it wasn't.
Yeah.
Like,
because it wasn't a screwdriver jammed in the ignition, but they had a way to get the ignition forward, but no key. And then they would push start it only. And they broke into that house too. Remember?
Yeah, that shit was stolen.
Yeah, so yeah.
Yeah, okay. So we ended up going to a fucking like Walmart with them, and they bought a bunch of stuff, and we went to the beach, and they started partying and shit, and they were the weirdest people in the fucking world.
Small world they turned out to. They went to school with my cousin.
Yeah.
In spring. I mean, I don't know how that happened, but
yeah.
Yeah.
I have this thing where I can't go nowhere without knowing anybody. So that was Cody's like only time that something like that happened. But yeah, we ended up hanging out with them for a while, and Cody keeps going, hey, we're gonna leave at 1. I'm like, okay, cool. Turns out Cody was like trying to see if he could get something that night, and he's like, okay, we'll leave at 2. I'm like, all right, whatever. And then 2 turned into 3. I don't think we got home till like 6 a.m. But yeah, something like that. But
fun.
But at one point they're like, oh, the girls are like, I need to go pee.
We're racing down the beach.
So, so they
push starting a Honda Civic in sand too.
Yeah, push started the Civic
in sand.
The main guy that was there that they were hanging out with was like, oh, my uncle has a beach house over here. We're gonna go over here, and they kind of went and broke into a house, and the girls started peeing. And they were on the balcony, and it just started, like, running down. You could just see the puddle and shit. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, thinking back to it now, they stole that car, and they for sure broke into the house and pissed on the fucking, like, front porch.
They just went up there, yeah.
Yeah. And, yeah. And then the younger dude that was with them was fishing, and he just kept saying, I just want to fucking fish, and split his foot open on a fucking seashell. And needed to go get stitches, and they were like, come on, we gotta go get stitches. He's like, no, I want to fish. Like, man. Do you remember the birthday party we went to in the park that night?
Yes.
Cody had a girl that was like in love with him, and she invited us to her birthday party. And it was one of those things where she invited Cody, but Cody didn't want to go unless I went. So,
I had to. I already had I had vibes. I had Predator vibes.
So he told her, he's like, hey, is it cool if I bring Caleb? She's like, yeah, that's fine. He's a good guy. And he's like, okay, cool. So he brings me. I wish he fucking didn't. And yeah, he did. So a little while later, I'm like, hey, where the fuck are you? I text him and he's like, dude, I'm in the back. I'm like, where? He goes, come find me, please. Please come find me. I'm like, okay. So I start going and I find him finally, and he sees me, and he's sitting there, and that chick is like getting ready to attack him. She was
a lot bigger than me.
Yeah.
And man, I remember I had to freaking I had to push her dog in front of me. I had to jump over the 4-wheelers that were back there. She was like chasing me around. And
he sees me come walking out the door. He jumps over and he's like, hey, Caleb. Hey, what's up, buddy? And I'm like, why are you talking to me like that? He's like, oh, your dad's here? Oh, hey, I guess we got to go.
Remember we just walked down the street? We just had to leave, you know. We just had to walk home from there.
Yep. Walked home that night because I was like, yep, fuck this.
But I did get 30 Seconds to Mars posters.
Was it worth it?
No, not at all. But no, not at all. That's why I held on to them, because it's like that was some serious shit that I had to deal with.
Yeah, you're still blocked on Facebook.
I am still blocked, actually. I'm over it. I'm the victim here. What the fuck?
There was a time in high school, there was a girl that was into me, and I really wasn't too into her. So I was like, hey, I think I'll just like talk to her for a little bit, you know, but I'm not really super into her. And I was in high school. I didn't know really how to talk to girls too well. I could just talk to people, you know, but I was like, we'll see what happens. And I guess she ended up being my girl for a second, but it was like the like Friday before spring break started. And she would always like be like, are you going to call me and tell me goodnight? I was like, I fucking guess, like whatever. So one night we went to my grandma's farm. She lives like 3 hours from here. And so we go up there, and it's me and him and Alejandro. And one night we're at the other house that she had there, and we're getting ready to like go to sleep. She texts me, are you going to call me and tell me goodnight? And I'm like, man, I don't want to fucking talk on the phone. So I look at my phone and I just go, hey, I'm going to answer the phone. The second y'all hear me say hello, y'all count to 30 and then start making as much noise as possible. So they did that. They started making a bunch of noise. And I'm like, oh, damn, my friends are here. I guess it's time to go. You know, she's like, really? And I was like, yeah, sorry. She's like, okay, that's understandable. I love you, and hung up the phone. I was like, okay, I got to dip on this. And I did, which was probably mean, but, you know, I was young and dumb.
You escaped that one, I'm sure.
Yeah.
She would have wore your skin. That was her plan.
You're probably
not. That was Leatherface.
Yikes. The farm. That was a cool place. We made a time capsule that weekend. We still don't know where it's at.
We looked everywhere. There's no way that we didn't walk past Codys once.
Yeah,
we had a metal detector. We couldn't find that damn thing. And it's in a Folgers can.
Yeah, we dug for it in the same spot that I always thought it was at. Couldn't find it. I don't know what happened to it. My theory is my uncle dug it up right after we fucking buried it and just fucking threw it away or some shit.
I think it was a fucking chupacabra.
There was a night that same weekend we were there, and we heard coyotes from like down at the front of the pasture, and I was like, "Oh, they're down there. That's cool."
Oh man, fuck whatever the hell was in those woods at one time. Whatever.
It
was literally right
as well.
It was.
It's the same night.
It was the day that we were talking about where I fell in that glass. Yep. That weekend, I went to my ex-girlfriend's mom's house out in Crosby. And I had the bright idea of going mudding with a fucking like a scooter, like a Vespa type scooter, and I ended up fracturing my ankle that night. That was a crazy night, but there was a lot going on there. And the next weekend we went out to their farm, and this asswipe fucking motherfucker would always take the only bed there, so I was sleeping on the floor. I remember my ankle was killing me, and there's a guest house at this place, but it was super creepy. Like, it's creepy as hell. You have to walk through the woods to get to it. It looks like it was terrifying. So I'm limping my ass across the yard, and pure darkness because it's country out there. You can see all the stars. It's really beautiful. But
closest neighbor's like a mile away.
Yeah, it was dark, and I was limping over there. I was like, "Ooh, I'm about to get some sleep on a bed, man. Fuck them wasps, fuck them scorpions. I'm about to sleep with. I'm tired of sleeping on the floor. I'm tired of hearing this guy snore." And I got about halfway there, and I don't know what the hell was in the woods because this guest house was up against the woods. It was super creepy. Like if you looked out the bedroom window, it's pure darkness, pure black darkness and trees. And already it's creepy enough. You're out in the middle of nowhere. But something started crying. It was probably just a wild boar looking back on it now. But I was young, and something was smashing through them trees. And if it was a boar, too, I would have been fucked. I didn't have a gun, and I had a fractured ankle. I was just limping. And, man, something came crunching through them goddamn trees. And freaking, I remember I went running back, like full, forgot about my injury. And then I ran in, and for some reason, I mean, I'm from the city, so I run in, and these people kept their doors open at night because it's the country. You don't gotta lock the doors, nothing. I'm like, how the fuck are these doors locked? I just slammed the door. And, man, that was crazy. My ankle was fucked at that point. To this day, my ankle still hurts.
That same night before that, we were at the campfire. We heard coyotes, and a little while later, we heard them a little bit closer, and then a little while later, we heard them right behind where we were. And I don't know how Alejandro did it. Alejandro is no kind of athlete. And we're good like 30 yards from the front door. Mm-hmm. And I go, damn, we should go inside. So we go to put it's literally blink of an eye. I'm like, hey, let's put this fire out. Turn right back around. Alejandro's at the door already. 2 seconds. Don't know how he did it. Don't know how he did it. He's never ran like that in his life. Didn't even hear him run. Don't know what he did. He did some fucking instant transmission shit. He was me over there. Like, don't know.
He's like 1'1", I think. So
yeah.
You should have took about 60 steps, 60, 70 steps. When you made it in 3.
Yeah. Do you remember all the times we used to mess with Bud at the house?
When y'all made him throw up? Is he one of those people that you can make throw up noises and you throw up?
We found some MREs that we got after a hurricane one year when we lost power for like 3 weeks.
You see the protein in Academy that was MRE flavored or whatever?
No.
It was on the top shelf. What the hell is that?
MRE flavor. It's the brand.
No, it said MRE. Or is that what
MRE is?
It was the same brand as I should have had, though.
It's Redcon 1.
Oh, I was like, ugh.
MRE is their MRE is their meal replacement.
Okay. Okay.
But we found some MREs one night, and we all just kind of went ham on them because we didn't have no food. And we went over there.
I have some MREs. Who brought those?
We got them after the hurricane.
Is that what it was? Yeah. I remember the whole closet was full of MREs.
After Hurricane Ike, they had the FEMA came out there and gave everybody free. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So your mom got like 6 boxes because she was handicapped. So they gave her a bunch of extra shit.
Cool.
Yeah. So we all got down some MREs one night, and we found milkshake mix in it. It said, mix it with your water and it tastes great. Well, that was a fucking lie. Bud smelled it and started throwing up. I tasted it and immediately threw up. So it was terrible. Cody saw us throwing up, didn't want to try it.
The enchiladas were good.
A lot of those MREs were good. But that milkshake mix, if y'all find that, stay the fuck away from it. There's one night, Bud used to smoke Kush.
No.
And
oh, God.
He got really, really high and said he was real hungry. So I made him a bunch of stuff. I made him an uncooked spaghetti noodle sandwich with chocolate syrup on it. And he got down on it. He loved it. That was a good time. He put a motorcycle helmet on one time and we hit him in the head with skateboards because we were trying to be jackass. We were trying to be jackass people at one point.
Yeah, it was his idea too.
It was his idea. That was the worst part. He was 23 and we were like 17. And he was like, yeah, I'm going to put this motorcycle helmet on that y'all randomly have. Y'all hit me in the fucking head with skateboards a bunch and film it. We'll put it on the internet and be famous. And yeah.
I just remember Project Graduation where you almost killed Abraham with those sticks. Remember? Because you fell on him backwards.
Dude, Project Graduation. Our senior year Project Graduation was tight. Cody didn't go. He had food poisoning. All I did was play poker the whole night. Our junior year, we weren't supposed to go to Project Graduation because we weren't graduating, but we were able to help run it. and we didn't help at all. We just hung out with the seniors and just chilled the whole fucking time. And there was a bunch of stuff that everybody showed up drunk as shit. The point of Project Graduation was to make sure that you weren't going out drinking and dying, drinking and driving on graduation night.
You're drinking and dying.
So everybody just got drunk and showed up. I was like one of the only sober people there, me and him. Everybody else showed up drunk out of their fucking minds. At the end of the night, there was so much leftover pizza. Cody took like 8 boxes home with him.
8 boxes and 2 big cans of tomato sauce.
Why?
It's free. You take free shit. It's free. It doesn't matter. You find something to do with it. You know that for a fact.
Do you remember that time that Kiera didn't know how to cook rice?
Remember the time that y'all were making that gross hot Cheeto thing?
Yeah, she didn't know how to cook rice. So I cooked it for her. And then I put in a bunch of different kind of cheeses and then some hot Cheetos. And we got down on it. And it was really good. It shouldn't have been good, but it was. And we all threw up afterwards because it was not good afterwards.
Where we tried to fry shit with the wrong oil and made ourselves sick.
No, y'all tried to deep fry shit without battering it.
We used the wrong oil. Where were we?
No, it didn't even matter. Y'all didn't batter it. Y'all just dumped it in the oil without putting like pancake batter or anything on it.
We did that too. That was sickening. That was a very sickening night. That girl throws up everywhere anyways. She's like, "Bud."
Yeah. There was a lot of stuff, man. Like, you and me done a lot of dumb shit over the years. Like, man, like, you be getting cars for cheap as shit. You found me a bunch of my cars for cheap. Like, there was all kinds of stuff, man. Like,
I'm trying to remember. My brain is clouded with all the times when I died at my job. I'm trying to think of the older one.
Yeah. We used to go skate all the time from like sun up to sundown. There was one time.
That time you freaking had to fight off the hobos that were trying to like rob you because I decided to walk on the street, but you decided to shortcut through the woods.
Yeah, we used to go skate at this place in Pyburn. It used to be a bowling alley. It got torn down, but they left the marble floors, so it was like the smoothest place ever.
Sick, and it had that big stair gap. Huge stair gap.
We called it Medusa for some reason. That's what they called it, and we all went there and skated. And
yeah, there were sponsors that went there and crap.
Yeah, it was dope. It was a cool place. Like, there was one time we had this thing called Battle at Medusa, and like 30 people showed up. It was dope. Like, that was the coolest spot ever. And there's 3 big gaps. There's a big gap that they called Medusa. There's a 5 stair that they called just the Medusa 5. And then there was a gap at the back that had a little launch ramp on it if you could do it the right way.
I remember the one where there was like no way to get real speed, but remember?
Yeah, the Medusa, the big one. I watched fucking Diego tray flip that thing one day. And hard flip it. It was crazy. But Medusa was in Pyburn, and Casino City's right next to Pyburn, but there's no direct way to get there. They were gonna put a footbridge across the creek, like the bayou that's right there, but they never did because they were afraid that there was gonna be crime, which would have been an understandable thing. But so we would walk all the way there, and it was like a 2-mile walk, and we'd take the railroad tracks, and so we'd go through there, and there would be a cutoff that went into Pyburn that you could take and then skate the rest of the way there, and it would kill like 15, 20 minutes. Cody decided to walk on the railroad tracks instead of skating with me, and I went through the woods. Well, some hobos tried to rob me, and I always carried a knife on me since I had been jumped and robbed so many times growing up. These hobos tried to rob me, and I pulled my knife on them, and they were like, hey, what the fuck? And I said, nah, y'all trying to rob me? What's up? And I grabbed my skateboard, and I had it in my other hand, have a knife like this. I looked like a fucking, like, I don't know, like some kind of fucking, like, warrior back in the day, like my sword and shield. And I had my skateboard and my knife like this, and they were like, I was like, what's up? And I took off and got away from them. And I got over there, and finally Cody shows up, and he's like, I see him. I'm like, dude, what the fuck? And he's like, what? And I was like, some hobo's trying to rob me over there. He's like, what? I said, yeah, dude, I had to pull my knife on him and everything. And he's like, dude, what the fuck? I was like, you walked all the way around. I should have went with you, but I wanted to fucking get here sooner. And yeah.
Speaking of that, walking through the woods, and ended up trespassing at the stables. And then
accident.
they released the dogs on us, and we had to run all the way the fuck back because those German Shepherds were chasing us.
Yeah.
How the fuck we outran German Shepherds and people? Oh, wait, what the hell that was? I think it's
That's the adrenaline, I guess.
well, that road is, I think they said it's a perfect half mile straight, and so we basically sprinted that whole thing all the way back to the Galena Park Road from Jacinto City to Galena Park. That stretch is supposed to be
it's a quarter.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, we sprinted that whole shit with skateboards in muddy grass because those fucking dogs were coming, bro, and those people, and we still went again like 50 more times.
What about the night that we were with Drew and we hopped the levee on the other side and went walking and ended up off of 610?
No, we walked all the way through
All the way through there, ended up off of 610.
We thought we were on that damn bridge again, that fucking bridge. We thought we were going to walk back down that way and ended up at JC, but there was a fence. We had to walk all the way back
at nighttime.
And
then
bullshit.
We went walking through this other park the next day, ended up at Fidelity.
By that abandoned house?
And some dude was sitting out front, and he's like, "Are y'all a band?" And I was like, no, but okay. Yeah, y'all look like a band. I was like, okay. And we ended up walking all the way back. Like, man, we were lighting fireworks in that big ass fucking drainage ditch off of
that hole was creepy, bro.
That shit looked like some fucking It type shit. Like Pennywise was down there for sure. Big ass opening. You could walk into the sewer over there.
If there wasn't a skinwalker in there, like, there had to have been.
Well, we would fucking take the artillery shells and hold them by hand like this in the fucking thing and shoot them. I had a video of it somewhere. The explosion in that bitch was so fucking loud, bro. That shit was crazy.
Or the creepy ass crap on top, on the other side of those woods going to Galena Park where they used to dredge and it would be like deep mud and you thought it was dry, but you step in it and it was quicksand.
You fell in there covered in spiders that time?
Yes, and it was full of spiders. No.
What about the time you dislocated both of your shoulders on the bike?
What about that? Yeah, that.
Explain that.
I'm trying to remember how that even went. I've done it so many times in so many other ways.
With you and Gorilla riding down Holland, trying to jump the ramp.
Oh, yeah, we were right that fucking road. We built a ramp, and we thought we were going to jump this busy-ass street on our bikes, and his fat ass did it a couple times before me, and then I finally went down, and that shit just collapsed, and I fucking fucked up both my shoulders. I couldn't lift my arms. Like, I don't know what I did that dislocated, but they've been fucked up ever since. I can't do shit with them.
In our minds, we were pro athletes. We were in X Games mode always. We would full send it all the time.
You being remember when we were racing on bikes down your street, and you tried to turn into that cul-de-sac, and you fell, but somehow you it was like the ground was fucking butter, and you slid and you popped the curb with yourself and then just wrapped yourself around a tree and then just got up like nothing happened. Like, again, just like the Powerline film.
There was a time me and Dougie, road rash. There was a time me and Dougie were riding on his old bike and I stood up to fucking get extra speed and somehow went over the handlebars. I slid on my face. Somehow only had like a scratch on my face and a went on the back.
We kicked the board out from underneath you from behind.
Fucking Alejandro hyperextended my knee that time doing that. Ran up to me on his bike and hit the back of my skateboard and fucking hyperextended my knee all bad.
And your bitch ass keep my phone and broke the screen right after I got it that one time.
Yeah. What about the time we went to the Festival of Lights with my dad's church that night, and right before we went, I fucked my ankle up skating in spot, and I had to walk on it 3 miles.
We were limping on it all slope.
We went to the spot, and they had tore out this big ass spot of concrete, and there was like a 3-foot gap, and I was trying to ollie it. It was just grass and mud. I was just trying to ollie from one side to the other. And I was getting really fucking close to it. For some reason, I just couldn't stick it. Every time I would do it, I would just get psyched out and land and run away. And this very last time, I'm like, fuck it, bro. Full send. Don't care. Got hurt, of course. Ollied it. I land on the other side like this. Bam. Right foot, my back foot on the side catches and clips the ground. Turns sideways, and I fell on it. I thought I broke it, but I didn't. I ended up going to the doctor, and he said I hyperextended the tendon that connects the muscles to my feet, sprained my ankle, all kinds of shit. And I was like, well, how long until I can skate again? He's like, dude, you're not even going to be able to walk right for like a year. And he was right. It took like a year and a half before I could walk straight. But I did that to it. I tried to run it off, and I couldn't run it off. I was like, oh, it's bad. So then I grabbed my board. And usually whenever I would roll my ankle, I would immediately start pushing off with that foot, and I would stretch it out and get all the acid running out of it, and it wouldn't hurt. I did that, and I couldn't push. I was like, oh, this is bad. This is bad. So then we fucking get back to my house, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like, damn, bro, this sucks. We still got to go to G-Town and fucking walk around for miles tonight. And we did that, and the whole time, every single time I seen a chair, I would stop immediately, sit there. Every single time. I got up the next morning, couldn't walk, couldn't go to school. My fucking ankle was swollen to the size of my elbow right here. Could not fucking do shit on it for years. Like, it was bad. But man, that shit was bad, bro. Like,
oh, we've had injuries that we definitely should have went to the hospital for.
Yeah, we had injuries we should have fucking seen a doctor for and just never did.
Like, so many fucking scars now.
Yeah. Dude, like, I had to get staples in my head one time. I actually went to the doctor for that. You split your head open in the middle of 6th grade science class one time, falling off the stool, and you didn't
twice.
And you didn't fucking go to the doctor.
No, I went to the doctor for that. I did it another time and didn't. Yeah, I split it open under this spot, under the other spot.
And that's why when we got jumped, you fucking fell on your head and re-split that spot open.
I was always scared I was gonna fucking. I got brain damage still.
I know I do. I got epilepsy. Man, there was a lot of shit we fucking did. Like, I'm trying to think of some more shit like that happened. I know there's like something I'm missing.
Cop that almost
dog. So Alejandro's house.
With Tourette's.
Well, Alejandro calls us and he's like, "Hey, I'm going to Mexico. Can y'all take care of my rabbits? Can y'all just go over there and feed them?" We're like, "Yeah, of course, bro. I got you." So we go over there and I'm like, "Hey, I need a screw from your skateboard, bro. Can I take it?" He's like, "Yeah, for sure." So I started taking apart his little board right there. And a little while later, dogs start going crazy. And Cody's like, "Man, I bet that's the cops." I'm like, "Nah, not even." He goes and looks over. He goes, "Yep, it's the cops." Cop comes walking around, gun fully drawn.
Right,
like, "Yep, it's the cops." I look over, 2 more cops come walking around the other side of the house. And I'm like, dog.
This is our rinky-dink ass little town that we grew up in. That this cop had
Tourette's.
He had Tourette's, and they gave him a gun. He had severe twitches, like really bad twitches, and they gave this guy a gun. I come around the corner, and this dude just has his pistol directly in my face, just full over-exaggeration, because the neighbors called the cops thinking that we were breaking in because nobody was at the house.
Yeah. And they finally let us go and everything. There was another time at Alejandro's house, we saw his car, and we seen something on the back of it. We thought it was bologna. And if you don't know, bologna, if you throw it on the car and it sits out in the sun, the grease in it will leave a big-ass ring on the car. Yeah, so we stopped and backed up real quick, and we went to look at it, and this other undercover fucking bitch-ass cop that I can't stand comes walking over, and she's like...
You're backing up suspicious.
Yeah, she's like, "Why are y'all backing up so suspicious?" They were like, "That's one of our best friends. We're making sure nobody fucking with his car." She's like, "Y'all should be way more careful." And I was like, "Bitch, all right, whatever." We had a little ritual we would do. We went to Freebirds every Friday for a while because there was one in Pasadena, and
they fucking suck now.
I'm sure they do.
Terrible.
I'm sure they do.
It's like Chipotle, but lamer.
But we would go there all the fucking time. It got to the point where like all the people there knew us because we went so often. It started off with just me and him, and then Alejandro slowly started joining, and then Dougie slowly started joining, and then I got annoyed with everyone and stopped going. And
the usual.
Yeah, that's usually how it is. Every now and then I need a break for a few months. I don't see them for a while. But yeah. Do you remember the time I came over to your house after I had mixed green Monster with coffee? And I was hyped out of my fucking mind? Or the time I showed up after I drank 5-hour energies and I was like, "Let's go skate. Come on." And we skated the entire day.
You're in my head, bro. I don't know how you... For one, I don't know how you drink those to begin with.
I didn't like them. I just had
like, oh my God, the amount that y'all could drink and just not be phased.
Yeah, I drank a lot of energy drinks growing up.
Drank?
Shut up.
Drank? You want to turn the camera to
one of them's yours.
No, it's not.
I got Cody on to drinking energy drinks too, so he kind of still does that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I used to go to the gas station by my house, and they would send me a Monster for like 25 cents. So I would buy a bunch of them and then go and sell them at school. Oh, dude, I was a hustler in high school. I made like $800 selling skateboard
I was
parts.
going to say that one day, I think you made like $340 in
off of
one
some
day.
trucks.
Yeah.
Off of some trucks, bro. There was this dude that we went to school with.
Back in high school, that was like.
Yeah. There's this dude we went to school with, and he lived in a neighborhood that had a bunch of little rich white kids in it that tried to skate, you know. And I had some trucks that Alejandro got from the pool guy one night, and he spray painted them with this badass like chameleon spray paint. It was like blue one way, but then purple the other. He spray painted it with that, and I told him that they were like some like prototype Jamie Thomas fucking thunder trucks, and he sold them to the kids for $400. Like, and we split it 50-50. Like, I think by the end of the year, I myself had made like $800 off of them kids. Like, that shit was crazy. Like, the first time me and Cody ever walked home from school was the last day of freshman year. I brought my skateboard, and we skated for a while, and then we walked home. And we went to this gas station or it wasn't even a gas station, it was just a corner store. Didn't even have a name. We just called it Shorty's because the guy that worked there was short, and everybody knew him as Shorty. He lives in like Galveston now, works at a store out there. And Shorty, I understand why he had to go to a different store because Shorty wasn't the brightest of the bunch. We went in there, and I said, hey, buy me something to drink. He's like, okay, cool. So I grab a Gatorade and a big-ass Monster. Cody grabs a Gatorade and a Powerade. He pulls out a $20 bill. He's like, man, I'm not going to give this guy 20. So he pulls out a 10 real quick and gives it to the guy. He gave us change back for the 20. It ended up being like $11 that we got back. And I was like, damn, did I see that right? So then we start walking back towards the house. We get like 3 blocks away, and I go, dude, I think he gave you change back for the 20. He's like, what? He looks in his wallet. He had $11 extra. He's like, fucking dumbass. And we ended up walking back. Cody got paid for all of our shit.
You found that God key on the railroad tracks that started everybody's truck?
Oh, yeah.
Car,
I found a fucking
house. Everything.
I found a key on the railroad tracks one time, and it started every Nissan that you could think of. I don't know why. It started his 200SX. It started our friend Abraham's truck, and I used it to steal it one night because he made us mad. And sorry, Abraham. And it started like 3 other people's Nissans at work. It was weird. And I think it started a fucking Mitsubishi somebody had too.
You had it on you one time when my dumbass, because with the 200SX, you could take the key out, and when the ignition was fucked up. So I remember I had to get something from the house. I took the key out to unlock the door, and then I left the keys inside, and we got to work. And I was like, oh, fuck, I can't even turn the car off. But you had that key in your pocket. Yeah. That saved the day.
And it happened to fucking start the car and turn it off. Like, that shit's crazy.
Thank God.
Yeah. Damn.
Fuck TBS.
That job, man. That job, dude, like, fuck. That was
easy to happen the day that I finally got fired and I had to go take my shirts back. Did something happen when you came to pick me up? It was you and Junior's sister, and
you didn't have a car when I came to pick you up, and there's like 5 of us in the car, and they wanted to search my car, and I couldn't. The trunk, trunk wouldn't open because it was the fucking keyhole broke, and I couldn't fucking open it anymore, and so they wanted to search the car, and I couldn't pop the trunk, and I told the guy, I was like, hey man, I can't pop the trunk, it doesn't work. He's like, oh well, I can't let you go through then. I was like, damn, okay. So I call you, and I'm like, hey, bro, they're not letting me come through. And you're like, what the fuck? I was like, you got to walk to the gate. You had to walk like a mile all the way to the gate so I could pick you up.
You remember whenever you towed that car home with a skateboard?
Yo,
in your trunk?
Cody's Nissan, his 200SX, fucking Nissan. It broke down one time, and he was like, hey, I need you to come tow my car. And I'm like, how am I going to do that? He's like, I don't know. I got a tow strap, though. I was like, I have an Oldsmobile. I don't have a tow hook, and neither do you have the spot to do it. You're like, well, I'm going to wrap it around the fucking frame of the car, and we're going to go. I was like, okay. So I took, big brain, again, quick on my feet. I took my skateboard and the other end of that tow strap, stuck it through the hole in there, wrapped it around 3 times, and shut it on the trunk. And then
the trunk was never the same.
Yeah, we were able to tow the car back, but my trunk was fucked up after that. But it worked.
Somehow Nissan's going to see this video and they're going to sue the fuck out of you for slander.
Defamation. Fucking Nissan. Yeah. There's a lot of shit, man. Like, I remember one time I went to visit your mom in the hospital, and we were in the Blazer, and that thing was easily like 6 foot off of the ground. I still don't know how I did it, but I jumped from flat into the back of that thing.
You get stranded at Codys trying to start it first.
Huh?
Remember whenever we picked her up food at Codys and I parked in the back and then it wouldn't start again? And I was laying underneath it, hammering shit, and trying to get it started.
Yeah.
What the truck?
Yeah, there was a lot of fucking car problems we had over the years.
Oh my God. And then how long you drove that damn Oldsmobile? Remember it was knocking, like severe rod knock, and you still probably put another like 300 miles on it. Just rod knock sounded like a tugboat at the same time, and you still drove it all over the damn place.
That was because fucking the local place over here, man, fuck y'all Parker Automotive, y'all bitch. Y'all fucked my shit up. They changed my oil and didn't put the fucking bolt in the right way. They cross-threaded it. So I couldn't change the oil, and no fucking place would fucking change the oil. I had to change the oil with Dougie one day, and we had to put that bitch back in, cross-threaded as fuck, just to get it to stay. And no place would change the oil on it.
You didn't have to change the oil, I didn't drain the oil either, because it had all leaked out.
Yeah, and then fucking, I took it back to Parker because they fucked my brakes up too. And I took it back to them, and they said, "Oh, hey, so this is wrong with it." I said, "Yeah, I brought it here. Y'all messed it up." And he's like, "No, you took it to Walmart." And I was like, "Bitch, the fuck I did. I don't go to Walmart for shit like that. I brought it here." And he's like, "Nah, you got the receipt?" And I said, "Yeah, I got the receipt somewhere." Didn't have the receipt. So my dad threw it away. And yeah, they got away with fucking my shit up. And you know what? I hear that they fuck everybody's shit up. So sorry.
You seem like that brought back some bad memories of Parker Road. Are you?
Fuck you.
Are you okay?
I probably need therapy,
okay?
but you know, I'm not gonna go.
Sorry,
Let it out like always.
did that to you. I never went there because fuck those guys.
Yeah, you never went there because they fucked my shit up.
Yeah, basically. Basically. I'm glad that you found that out for me.
Fuck you.
Thank you.
I'm glad we found the other place that does shit for good prices but keeps your shit for too long.
Yeah, you're not getting your truck back. I'm sorry. You'll probably get it back Monday.
I need it by tomorrow.
You'll probably get it back next Monday.
They said it'll be ready in the morning.
They said it would be ready today.
Oh.
Twice.
Whoa.
We took it there early.
They didn't get the parts or some
We
shit.
took it there in the morning.
Shut up, bitch!
It was a brake job.
I know.
They do good work.
There was a lot more other shit though. But yeah. Man. We've been through a bunch of shit together, man.
Tons more to come, I'm sure.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, I've almost died with you like 4 times this year. The other night, like a few months ago, I was sitting on the porch and we had a fire going, and this motherfucker, he's trying to start his truck because the starter was fucked up. He's underneath it, beating on it. Alejandro's constantly cranking it. It spit gas out of the exhaust that just happened to be next to this fire we had. I'm sitting on the porch. The fire shoots, and I could feel it. And I was like, what the fuck? And Dougie's on the porch. Oh, shit.
It's an old Chevy. Runs pretty rich, and I'd been turning the key over with the fuel pump loading over and over. And once it finally started cranking and it fired off, all of that vapor came out of the exhaust. And the fire just caught, the fire was right there, and it shot it all the way across the yard.
Whenever I make Dougie's episode,
after what, a 300-mile trip almost?
Yeah, we just went to my grandma's farm and back. After when Dougie films his episode, that's gonna be his intro clip, so y'all get to see it. But yeah, I texted them that night and I said, look, if y'all gonna keep almost killing me, I need y'all to try harder and just fucking do it. I'm tired of almost dying. Like, dog, like what the fuck, man? Like,
you remember when we completely disregarded your epilepsy to try and give a cockroach a seizure with a strobe light?
I didn't know I had epilepsy at the time. That was the thing. I just knew I had seizures, but they never diagnosed it.
We had a feeling, seizures kind of what epilepsy is. So kind of a main symptom.
Well, strobe lights still don't trigger them. They just make me dizzy.
They trigger that damn roach.
Yeah.
Y'all can get rid of roaches with a strobe light. They don't like it. They have epilepsy too.
Y'all can hold.
That's why he doesn't die, because he's a roach.
You just said you can get rid of them.
You don't.
I'm not a roach. You're stupid. Anyways,
cockroach.
Fuck you. Anyways,
roach.
We held a strobe light up to the fucking cockroach that was on the wall, and it started tweaking and like curling up, and then fell off the wall
like a slut.
Yeah, it was weird. Yeah, there was a lot of that was the Lord house. There was a lot over there, like all kinds of shit. Like I remember there was that one night I almost fucking fought your old roommate because he was smoking some weed, and I said, "Hey, bro, can you like blow it over there because you keep blowing it in my face?" And he said, I mean, you can leave," and he blew the smoke directly in my face, and I said, "You're fucking lucky this ain't my house." And Cody was like, "It's your house as much as it's fucking his. Go for it." And I looked at him, and he ran inside and locked himself in his room. I was like, "You fucking bitch." Probably doing meth somewhere. Fucking other people over.
Nothing really happened here at this house besides the fire. You did punch out my window right after I first got it, though. Kind of pressing that in.
Yeah. I mean, during the Super Bowl, I almost got lit on fire again because we were trying to light a fire and kicked the fucking piece of wood I was holding. And it threw embers all over me.
Oh, we were throwing darts at each other with a crossbow.
No, we had a little crossbow that somebody got, and we were shooting each other with it. The tip had broken off of. We were trying to see if we could hit like the target that we made, but then the tree kept breaking the tips off. So then I shot Dougie with it just to see what would happen, and then Dougie shot me with it, and them hoes caused blood even without the tips. Like, yeah.
I was having severe getting shot with airsoft flashbacks because this guy was a bully.
I wasn't a bully.
He was a bully.
I was not a bully. He was a bully. I was very nice.
You couldn't even sit next to him on the school bus. He would just throw you off.
Shut up.
Because, you know, for some reason we had to ride like 6 to a seat.
Yeah, there was a lot of people on our school buses in middle school.
Remember when the school bus drove into the ditch? That wasn't even either of our faults. When the school bus drove into the ditch and almost flipped over.
Yeah.
For no fucking reason whatsoever. She just overturned straight to right to the ditch.
Do you remember the time our homie David broke his ankle in the middle of school trying to jump the stair set?
Yeah. We were throwing that big ass ball of yarn out the back window of the bus and that car running over it and like fucking this shit up.
Do you remember the time that
you remember those glass monsters?
Yeah, the Uber monsters.
We were riding like 12 deep in the Grand Dam with Gustavo, and Jonathan was riding his little crotch rocket bike, and you were trying to throw him in the spokes to make him fall on a fucking motorcycle. While we were doing like fucking 40 down the road.
Poor Jonathan.
It didn't work, but if it didn't work, that would have been really bad.
Do you remember the time I was trying to tray flip the stair set in front of the fucking school that day? And I landed on it like 5 times. I was like, I got it right here. But it sucked because you had to clear the 3 set plus this big ass fucking crack that was like 2 feet in front of that. So you had to go fast as shit. And I fucking tray flipped it, caught it, immediately stomped it, and fucking landed on my shoulder and slid. And I was like, all right, that's enough for today.
I remember the Village Pizza Gap. And you hurt yourself on that one too.
I didn't hurt myself on that.
Yeah, because the board, you made it over, but the board didn't for one time, and I guess you thought it did, and so you landed, but then just fell like right by the liquor store. It wasn't a bad injury, but it looked pretty bad.
Those dudes were cool. They would come out there and give me free Red Bull because I'd be skating that gap right there. It was only like a fucking 1.5 foot high gap, but you had to ollie a curve to get to it.
Skate stories, just me hurting myself because I was never very good at skating.
Yeah, I got pretty good at one point.
Like I
almost got sponsored twice, but it didn't work.
I would get tricks down, and then I would completely forget them the next day to the point that I couldn't do them at all. It's like I was not meant to skate.
Yeah,
but I did still.
Yeah, it was fun.
It was fun. It was very fun. It probably kept me from dying earlier with diabetes because if I didn't, I would have been sitting on my ass and I probably would have just died. But like, oh my god, skating in the summertime, it has to be the most like pro cardio thing. Like, oh my god.
Skateboarding is the only thing that kept me alive from myself over the years. But I mean,
before that, it was BMX for me. That was more fun. I did hurt myself a lot on that. Oh god damn! When that bike fell apart completely while I was riding it, the handlebars, pedals all broke off at the same time. Somewhere on me is a scar.
What about when you went to visit Kiera and that dog got a hold of you on that bike?
Oh my god, bro! I got robbed by a pit bull. That was a big ass dog though. He took that bike from me. Like that.
Alejandro still swears that never happened.
It just wasn't worth it because that bike was falling apart on the way. It's like the handlebars worked themselves loose by Federal Road, and by the time I got to Normandy, both pedals had broken off. So I was riding on these little stupid ass nubs And oh my god, dude, I was right through that back alley. That pit bull came, and he went for my leg, and I jumped over the other side, and he grabbed the back tire and just yanked that shit away. And I was like, oh, fuck this bike.
Alejandro still swears that didn't happen and that you just fucking got robbed or some shit.
For just the bike?
Yeah.
Just the shitty ass bike?
Yeah, exactly. The bike that was like 5 other bikes put in one.
Yeah, that was a shitty ass bike.
Man. Dude, there was a lot of shit. Your neighbors that lived next door to us on Lord fucking hated us. That dude snitched on us one time, and we threw a burrito on top of his house, and it stayed there for like 2 weeks before he noticed.
I fucking smashed one up against his window. I smashed V8 up against his crap when he first painted it. The tomato juice shit.
That guy was a dick, so we were dicks to him.
I didn't even look to see if they still lived there when we passed by the house earlier today.
I don't know.
Shit.
Yeah, there was all kinds of stuff over there. Like, man.
More to come.
Yeah, there's definitely going to be more shit.
There's more unsaid now. I just can't think of it.
Yeah, no, we're going to have to do a part 2 to this. Like, we're going to have to think of some shit and do a part 2.
We're going to have to brainstorm.
Yeah.
Doesn't go well, but
yeah.
Sometimes it does.
Yeah.
Some MacGyver shit that we do. Like this whole contraption right now.
Yeah, we've always done some ghetto ass shit, man.
Would you spend $20 just to put this shit on top of a dryer?
Shut the fuck up.
Could have brought the table.
Do you remember when we had to fucking change the fan clutch on my truck?
Yeah.
And we couldn't figure out how to do it, so I fucking got on YouTube and found a video where it said, chain this bitch to that thing and then to this thing, and then you fucking hit it real hard.
It worked.
It worked.
It did.
You and I have done the ghettoest shit possible to fix our vehicles over the years.
It works.
Yeah. I mean, we always fucking come up with some shit ghetto as fuck to make it work.
The right
it always
way
does.
is the way that works. There's no one right way to do anything.
That's true. But yeah, this was fun, man. We're gonna have to brainstorm and do a part 2 because there's way more shit from over the years.
Gotta get the climate controlled area.
Yeah. I'm sweating my ass off.
It's Houston. It'll be probably 120 here soon.
We'll do part 2 in the winter.
Yeah.
Part 2. Yeah, but part 2 will be even more shit because trust me, there's way more shit to talk about that we definitely forgot.
I mean, by then there'll probably be more shit that happened.
Yeah, by then definitely because he almost fucking kills me. He almost killed me twice today.
This dude almost died walking out of the shed a minute ago. He just stepped through a pallet and almost busted his ass and went through the other shed.
Yeah. See, like shit like that.
But
yeah.
Yep.
I appreciate you for coming on finally, man. But
yeah,
this was a good one. There will be a part 2. Me and this motherfucker have been through too much over the years. We're gonna go through way more in the next few years. And yeah, we'll have another one to tell you. Peace.
Bye.
Hey, little turned up thotty with the body. I got money, it's no problem. Let's be honest, girl, I want it. You can pull up on me. I